Xbox has exposed PlayStation's lies. Xbox and Apple are teaming up. And we're getting a revival of one of the greatest Xbox accessories ever. Let's discuss. If you want to make sure that you're Xbox ready this holiday season, I have links down in the description below with all sorts of stuff down there. Consoles, controllers, headsets, TVs, washing machines. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, I would very much appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, maybe set your notifications to all, and help me get to 100,000 subscribers. What is up, guys, and welcome back to another edition of Xbox Ready. You know the drill. I gather a couple of stories from around the industry to make sure that you are also Xbox ready. First up, let's talk about this whole Activision Blizzard thing. Now, if you need a little bit of a reminder, or if you're an Xbox fan that's been living under a rock for the past year, Microsoft has entered into an agreement with publisher Activision Blizzard to buy their whole company for a little bit over $68 billion. And that includes all of their IPs that they put out. I'm talking Call of Duty, I'm talking Overwatch, I'm talking World of Warcraft, I'm talking Diablo, I'm talking Crash Bandicoot. And since they announced their intentions back in January, everyone has just been kind of like, whoa, that's really cool. Except, no, not really. There's been a whole lot of drama regarding this deal, whole lot of scrutiny from governing bodies all around the world. So far, the deal has only been approved in 2 countries, Brazil and Saudi Arabia. In other regions like the United States, the UK, the European Union, all those guys are entering into a phase 2 to further scrutinize this deal, make sure that nothing shady's going on, make sure that this acquisition doesn't give Microsoft and Xbox an unfair advantage in the gaming space. But there's one company that seems to be especially opposed to this deal. I'm talking about Sony PlayStation. They've come out time and time again and said, this deal, if it goes through, would be absolutely catastrophic, absolutely terrible for PlayStation. I mean, the gaming industry. And so far, the crux of their argument seems to rely on Call of Duty specifically, saying that, oh, if Microsoft, Xbox, if they own Call of Duty and they decide to make it exclusive to Xboxes, that would give people the audacity to buy an Xbox over a PlayStation. How dare they? They've even gone so far as to say, well, that's just what Xbox does. They buy these publishers like Bethesda and they make their games exclusive to Xbox, ignoring the fact that Deathloop wasn't on Xbox consoles for a really long time, ignoring the fact that Ghostwire Tokyo still isn't on Xbox consoles despite being a first-party game, and ignoring the fact that a huge part of Sony's business model for PlayStation is having these exclusive titles on PlayStation where you can't play them anywhere else. This video is brought to you by Yahaha Studio. Yahaha is a brand new user-generated content creation platform for 3D multiplayer interactive experiences. With Yahaha, anyone can create and publish their virtual experiences without coding or server knowledge. All you gotta do is use the available templates, components, and smart assets in Yahaha Studio to make your dream game. I went ahead and used the existing club template to create my own Xbox Ready Club, a place for me and all my friends to hang out and watch the latest Xbox Ready videos. There's only one problem. There's no screen for me to watch Xbox Ready on. So I pull up my existing assets, I click web screen. I then arrange it to where I want right here at the center of the stage. I resize the screen because you know it has to be a theatrical experience, baby. And then I use the game's tools to embed my YouTube video on the screen so it plays whenever I enter the game mode. I then copy and paste my latest video's link into the tools provided me on Yahaha Studio. So when I enter play mode, my character is able to enjoy Xbox Ready in all of its glory. If you're like me and you have no knowledge about coding or server knowledge, but you have a passion for making video games, Yahaha Studio is just a click away. Check out this link or the link in the description to get started. But don't worry, guys, Jim Ryan over at PlayStation has come out and said, we are not attempting to mislead regulators over this deal. That sounds a lot like something someone would say when they're trying to mislead someone. Very interesting. Nah, I'm kidding. According to Pure Xbox, Ryan stated that any suggestion of misleading regulators is not true. He said that Microsoft is a tech giant with a long history of dominating industries. It is highly likely that the choices gamers have today will disappear if this deal goes ahead. Now, previously, representatives from Sony have come out and said, hey, when Xbox first went ahead with this deal, entered into this agreement with Activision Blizzard, they only offered us this deal that guaranteed Call of Duty titles on PlayStation for 3 years after the acquisition. And we came out and we said, no, that's not acceptable, that's not long enough. And despite Phil Spencer and other Xbox people coming out and saying, we have no intention of removing Call of Duty from other platforms and making it exclusive to Xbox, we even have plans to bring it to other platforms where it currently does not exist, like the Nintendo Switch, there still seems to be a question of, okay, are they gonna take away Call of Duty from other platforms? And now a new report covered by the New York Times suggests that Xbox went ahead and offered a contract to Sony saying that they guaranteed Call of Duty titles for 10 years rather than 3. They said, okay, 3 years, not long enough, whatever, if that was true or not, I'm not sure. We're gonna offer you 10 years guaranteed of Call of Duty on PlayStation. And what did PlayStation say? They said, no, still not good enough. Or at least they just didn't respond to the offer. They declined to comment. Now again, I do not know all the workings of these wheelings and dealings. I don't know the exact specifics of this contract. But if what they're reporting on is true, 10 years for Call of Duty guaranteed on PlayStation. One, it reiterates this opinion I have on Xbox, saying that they don't really care too much about Call of Duty. Obviously, Call of Duty, one of the biggest franchises in the world, one of the biggest, most valuable IPs in the world when it comes to gaming. But on the other hand, Microsoft has literally come out and said, it's not really so much about Call of Duty for us, it's about breaking into the mobile gaming space. It's more about like Candy Crush versus Call of Duty for us, which might sound really stupid to some people, but then you look at the revenue generated by mobile games versus console and PC gaming combined, and it's like way more money to be made in the mobile gaming market versus traditional gaming as we know it. And two, for me at least, it further villainizes Sony. First of all, through this whole process, I've kind of looked at them like, okay, I may not agree with whatever they're saying when it comes to this regulatory review, but I do understand Call of Duty makes a lot of money for PlayStation. That's the bottom line. And if they see a threat to that, it's like, okay, I gotta do something to protect my own interests, to protect my own business. Of course, I get it. But it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, all they're talking about on the Sony camp is just Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. They're ignoring every other aspect of this deal, and they're just focusing on Call of Duty. It's getting a little tiresome. God forbid there's another player in the mobile gaming space other than Apple Arcade or the Google Play Store. And it's becoming clear what Sony wants, and then sort of by extension what these regulators also want. Their interests sort of align, which is super sus, is that they want Microsoft to make all these concessions of like, okay, guarantee Call of Duty on our platform forever, indefinitely. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if Sony came out and was like, yo, you are not allowed to put Call of Duty titles on Game Pass. And it's getting ridiculous, guys. Like, when in the history of ever has a publisher or a platform holder bought a studio or another publisher, and then someone stepped in and be like, okay, you can't make the titles developed by these guys exclusive despite the fact that you're funding them. You can't put them on your service. You gotta pinky swear that your titles are gonna be guaranteed on our platform for the rest of time. Like, that just doesn't happen. Sony definitely doesn't do that stuff, and they take away games from Xbox players all the time. Octopath Traveler, what's going on with that? Tens of thousands of people came to know that franchise through Xbox Game Pass, developed a connection to the characters in that game, and then all of a sudden they come out with the sequel of that game and they're like, just kidding, it's not gonna be on Xbox, boo-hoo, get over it, buy the console that you need. No matter what side you fall on, whether you do not want this deal to go through or you want it to go through, I just want a definite yes or no answer. Is it going through? Is it not going through? It feels like every week we get some sort of new tidbit of information, but we're no closer to getting a definitive answer on this subject. I know that the European Union's regulatory board has until March 23rd in order to make a final decision on whether or not they say yes or no to this deal. So hopefully in the next couple of months, we will have a clearer picture on what this deal is gonna look like and how it affects the gaming industry as a whole. Next up, let's talk about how you can get some free stuff. Yes, that's the best price, right? Free. Love free stuff. I'm talking about Game Pass Ultimate perks. This is a little section within your Game Pass tab, if you have Game Pass Ultimate, the highest tier, the $15 a month tier, that literally does what I just said. It gives you free stuff. It gives you free subscriptions, free trials, free in-game items. And overall, I feel like it's an underrated feature that not a lot of people talk about. If you you go on and click the perks tile on the Game Pass tab, it brings you to all sorts of goodies that you may not even know that you have access to. Now, some of the stuff is kind of like, whatever, maybe it's some in-game skins or currency to a game that you don't really play, but some of it can be really, really good. I got 3 months of Crunchyroll, and I'm a huge anime fan, so that was really clutch. They're always doing promotions, giving away free months of Hulu, Disney Plus, the bundle that comes with ESPN. For a long time, they were giving away a couple of months of Spotify Premium, and you can still get 3 months of Discord Nitro thanks to Game Pass perks, which is really awesome because now Discord is sort of on Xbox consoles, but now they're adding even more value to your Game Pass Ultimate membership, giving away more perks as part of this program. As of this week, you have until March 1st to get 3 months of Apple Music and 3 months of Apple TV. Now, I have a Spotify Premium account, but previously, Jimmy has come on the channel and said Apple Music has a lot of really cool features, and since I can try it out for free with my Game Pass membership, it's like, okay, I kind of want to get Apple Music, kind of compare, see which one I like more. As far as Apple TV goes, I mean, there's some really great stuff on that as well. I really love The Morning Show, I really love Severance, Ted Lasso's on there, which is really great as well, that Jason Momoa show. Again, you have until March 1st to pick up these perks, and if you're one of those who just signs up for the free trial and then you delete it because you don't actually want to pay for it going forward, you just want to check it out, make sure you set a reminder for yourself to cancel before the 3 months is over, because then you're going to be sitting around one day on your couch enjoying a coffee, and then you're getting an alert saying, oh man, I was charged for Apple TV and Apple Music, oh no, I should have canceled. So far, the Game Pass Ultimate perks have been kind of like in the lower range of like anything below $20, I would say. Going forward, it would be really awesome to see some like crazy deals on there, like here's a couple of months of YouTube TV with live sports, and like you can watch the NBA Finals with this. Hopefully, as Game Pass continues to grow, maybe they get a little bit more subscribers, other companies will take notice and will start to partner with Game Pass to bring some sweeter deals. But in the meantime, again, I really think it's a great value. Obviously, you get all the games on Game Pass, you get EA Play, you get cloud gaming, and you get these perks, which are really awesome. And again, I feel like not a lot of people talk about them. Be ready to relive the glory days with this new but also old controller. I'm talking about the Xbox 360 controller coming back from the grave. It's making a comeback, baby. In honor of the 17th anniversary of the Xbox 360, company Hyperkin is coming out with an Xbox 360 controller that you can use with modern day consoles and PCs. This is officially known as the Hyperkin Xenon, which was apparently the code name for Xbox 360 back in the day. It is a wired controller, but again, you can use it on your Xbox Series X and S, and you can use it on Windows 10 and 11 devices. It's obviously the same chassis as the OG 360 controller, but it does have some modern touches, including the share button that we have all come to not love, but grown accustomed to, I guess, with this new generation of controllers. Now, for a lot of people, this is just gonna be a huge dose of nostalgia, huge dose of member berries. I'm not sure competitively if there's any advantage from going with the 360 controller with the controllers of today, but if you wanted a really authentic experience, maybe you wanted to play a backwards compatible game, like, I don't know, the original Halo 3 and the Master Chief Collection, or Halo Reach, and you wanted that full 360 experience, you can pick up the Hyperkin Xenon and relive those good old days. This isn't the first time this company has done a throwback controller. They're the guys who put out a replica of the OG Duke controller. I feel like the 360 controller, the Xenon, is gonna be a lot more popular than that Duke controller. The Duke, let's be honest, it was like, what's going on with that? It was huge, especially in my little like 8-year-old hands. I just could not, I was like, what's going on with this? But that was a crazy era for controllers, because I also had the Nintendo 64, and that was like, dude, what is this thing? 3 prongs. The Hyperkin Xenon is going to be available in 4 colors: white, black, pink, and red. But unfortunately, as of right now, that is all we know about the controller. There's no release date, there's no price point. But if I was gonna take a wild guess, I would imagine that they would release this controller sometime early next year. I'm talking like Q1. Now, previously, Hyperkin had released like a special Combat Evolved Duke controller. It would be really awesome to see a special edition similar to that, maybe like a see-through variant like we saw with the anniversary controllers. But that might be a little further down the line, considering they're already releasing the white, black, pink, and red versions.